Hello guys and welcome to Going Pro. I'm your host AOP and I'm casting for Definitive Esports. I just got back from DreamHack and yeah, the previous week we didn't have any cast, but this week we're on it again and we are heading into the first game, or the only game I should say. So in the bottom right position, starting as the teal Protoss player. Not many players chooses that color. He is FXO asd, and this is this week's featured player. I didn't actually find that much info about him, but I found a replay and I thought it could be fun to cast. I got this replay from the Zodiac Cup, where he actually played versus both Polt and Dignitas Killer and a lot of other good players. So he's a really strong player, but we haven't seen that much from him, so it could be interesting to watch and just see what he has in store for us. And on the other side, his opponent is, of course, TSl.Polt, a really strong player regarded as a really good Terran, and most of you should know who it is. FXO asd moves out to scout, and like I said, I checked his Wikipedia page, couldn't find much info about him actually. He had been in GSL, but he got knocked out, and when he was in there, some people thought he was kind of an underdog, but he actually got into Code S for a while in August, I think. So yeah, he's a really good player, but it would be fun to see more of him. And yeah, this is actually the first replay I'm checking from him, so this is going to be very interesting. Starting out with double gases, going for cybernetics core as well. I'm not entirely sure. I was going to say I was not entirely sure about how old this replay is, but yeah, this is pretty new, so might be a week or so. Well, Polt going for a fast expand without gas, going to drop that command center down really early. One probe here to scout it, knows that there is no gases here. One marine going to chase after it. This probe going to be stuck in a corner and go down. And yeah, now pretty much Polt can do pretty much what he wants. FXO asd plays in the dark pretty much. He has scouted out the main, but the probe got killed, and there is a wall here, so not that easy to get in. Once again, one bunker getting constructed here, because Polt doesn't want to meet up with any shenanigans getting killed off by any like early game harassments or such things. One Zealot moving out here, and yeah, it will be able to put some pressure on, but not that much. The bunker is finished, the Zealot is loaded in, so this Zealot won't be able to do much at all. One Stalker joining up, and this is like this standard poke early game composition. Just one Zealot, one Stalker, one more Zealot Stalker getting rallied out, and these two just sees this bunker and gets rallied back as well as this. So yeah, there's not much to do there, and we see one Nexus on the low ground getting constructed right now on the natural. This map is pretty easy to grab your third. You just need to break down these rocks. So yeah, a lot of players go for their thirds pretty early on this map, since you just break down these rocks and not much to do. The map is so big, so you could go for an early third pretty safe on this map. And yeah, it's pretty hard to force this ramp. This ramp is a little easier. It's so wide, so a lot of sentries could heavily favor the player. The problem though with the natural is, or the third, is that it has one more ramp, so it opens up to two attack routes, one through this and one through this ramp, so you could pretty much sandwich an army here. Stim on the way for Polt, robotics on the way for asd at the moment. We see double gateways just finishing up, and engineering bay just getting started for Polt. Simulators getting added up for asd in the meantime. We head over to his base. Engineering bay in the back doesn't want it to get scouted or something, I don't know. A refinery going down here. Could also be good to get a little extra vision with that engineering bay, just to see what's going on the back here, if there is any drop drops coming or something like that. Reacted barracks just getting finished up. Marauders on the way out. Stim not that far from done. Weapons level 1 starting to get researched now, and both players on the equals amount of gases right now. If we look at the income tab, we can see that Polt is a little bit ahead, and yeah, in both, but in terms of gas, they are actually the same. So yeah, not a big difference. Polt a little bit ahead in food count, but the difference isn't that big, so it shouldn't matter super much. Forge on the way for ASD, going to get some upgrades as well, which is good, because if you're meeting a player that goes for upgrades, you should do that too. Going for double forge actually, so he will be able to sprint ahead with some good chrono boosts. One immortal on the way out for ASD at the moment, going to start chrono boosting on that grand armor weapons level 1 and grand armor weapons level 1. Yeah, grand armor and weapons level 1 going down. Excuse me. Combat shield on the way. Infantry weapons level 1 about to finish, and let's see if he's going to move out, just push a bit. We see one factory flying out, going to just circumvent the middle, see what's going on there, and then move down to scout out the main base of the Protoss. Not that many, one stalker out or something like that, and yeah, I only think it's one stalker. No, 3 stalkers out right now. Where are they? Okay, in the back of the main, just to prevent from any drops. So, really good to be prepared for those drops. That could be coming in. One more stalker getting warped in. Twilight Council on the way, going for more upgrades as well, which is really good. One observer here to scout this army that's moving out from TSl.Polt, and this looks like a really big army, but lots of sentries here to help defend. And now let's see how he's going to do this. This is going to be so interesting when Polt moves up the ramp, throws down a scan, some decent forces going down, but there is a small gap here, and Polt snipes one sentry, I think. Polt is just waiting here to move in once again. One factory here to get some vision of the high ground. FXO ASD moves out a bit, but needs to be careful. Some decent forces going down, going to stop some Marines from getting out. They're going to kill them off. Polt trying to put a lot of pressure on. The energy on the sentries are pretty high, so they can throw down a couple of force fields more. And these stalkers here in a good position, away from the Marauders. All the Marines on this side, so the stalkers won't get the hit from the Marauders. As a start, lots of zealots here as well in a pretty good position to rush down the ramp. Yeah, this attack didn't deal much damage at all. One Marine here to scout out the third. He's going to try to force the ramp once again, trying to get some hits, but more nice force fields from ASD. These sentries really doing a good job. More reinforcements coming from Polt. ASD researching Blink at the moment, and ASD's army is actually getting pretty big, but Polt is ahead in the food count. Armory on the way, third getting built right now on the spot, and yeah, this is a pretty good contain here from Polt, forcing ASD not to take his third, and Polt just tries to put some more pressure on. ASD actually gets a lot of kills, but his food count drops a bit too, so not that good trade for any of these players, but at least a better trade for Polt, since he's containing ASD right now from taking his third. But the factory is killed off now, so ASD is in a little better position, but Polt is 40 supply ahead already. More stalkers, one sentry getting walked in, Protoss ground armor, and weapons getting researched right now, soon to finish, and I think he'll break out of this when the upgrades finish. Polt starting to research infantry weapons level 2. The shield goes up, and one zealot moving out to see what's going on, getting killed off immediately. 4 Marauders, 2 Marines at the time getting built or trained right now. That's a lot. Double upgrades coming for Polt. Immortal on the way. Polt just continuing to put this pressure on. These stalkers have pulled back to the main army, so because there is no drops coming, Polt just wants to keep the Protoss in his main, and he is actually ASD is actually getting quite mined out, and Polt is actually doing a really good job. ASD is starting to work on these rocks, knows that he needs to do it. Polt tries to force the ramp a little bit, and just works off of these 3 bases. If we look at the income tab, we can see that Polt is actually on the double income right now, so that's pretty crazy. And yeah, ASD is going to be able to defend this with some decent force fields. These Marauders deals a lot of damage, but the Stalkers does an aggressive blink, and really good blink, and Polt is forced back. Yeah, ASD coming back into the supply count right now, but yeah, his Immortal is really helping out a lot here. The Stalker's not that good versus Marauders with medevacs. Almost 1 medevac per Marauder. The Marauders are super strong right now, going to pick these Stalkers out so fast. And the Terran weapons soon to finish, and then ASD pretty much needs to move back, because when the upgrades finishes, he can't really combat this army, and he decides to move back already. And Polt moves back home, throws down a scan to kill off the Observer, and yeah, ASD hugs this middle tower, going to warp in some additional reinforcements. Need to take out this this Marine though. It hasn't got 1 kill, so no probes here. I don't know. It actually looks like ASD wants to go with this, because he really needs to get something going, and he's moving in the Marauders. Oh, so many Marauders. They're just going to pick apart everything. No splash damage here at all for ASD. The Sellers trying to do what they can, but they just soak up damage. Some more Stalkers warping in, and lots of Marauders actually going down, but this army from ASD is just looking weaker and weaker. More Marauders joining up with the forces. 1 Stalker getting warped in, but is it enough? We see GG, and there we go. So yeah, that was just crazy play from Polt. He outplayed him. A really good contain. Well, that was this week's Going Pro. I hope I can get something better going for you next week. I had a lot of time to prepare, but anyway, it was good. It was fun to cast, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. D_esports, and yeah, you see the other links there. So anyway, thank you for watching. I am AOP, and see you next